Guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of SoCal Watch Reviews, episode 65. This is Miguel. P. Ross, how's it going, buddy?
Yo, we are in the building for sure, bro. What up,
Saturday night. We usually record Sunday morning, so I'm hyped. I'm awake. It's not 6:30 in the morning, so I'm
right.
definitely awake, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So I've been chatting.
Well, Hennessy is in the building.
Okay, water for me. I'm not drinking. I was hanging out with my family, so
that's what's up.
But no, hey man, check it out, P. Ross. So I've been chatting with our next guest for a few months now, and he is the reason why I got my Seiko SPB. Ooh. He owns it. Yeah, he owns it. And I just fell in love, and I had been talking to the guy, asking a ton of questions. He gave me some advice, and I ended up pulling the trigger, and I am so happy. And I'm going to talk more about this guy in a little bit, but why don't you do the official introduction, and let's go from there, man.
Okay, let's make it official. Okay, we got a brother, from down under. Melbourne, Australia. Yes, I said Melbourne, Australia, where the kangaroos put up their dukes and rumble. Okay, we have Dale. And he also has a YouTube channel, and I like for him to explain what his YouTube channel, his name means.
By the way, here's my son.
Hello, Miguel's son. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Dale. How's it going? So,
good.
Tell us the name of your channel and your Instagram account. And
thank you for the awesome intro to start with.
Hey, yo, always, you know what? We do what we do. You know what I mean? We try to make everybody feel comfortable. It's all good, bro.
I'm always fighting those kangaroos on the drive out. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah.
Hi, yes. Mr. AK Productions. That's my YouTube and Instagram accounts. No hyphen, just Mr. MRACDK. It's a spin on my surname, which is Maracek, which is Czech heritage, Czechoslovakian. And my buddies at school could never pronounce it, could never remember how to spell it. So one of the creative boys came up with Mr. Ace K, and it's stuck since I was like 13. So I've just rolled with it.
That's what's up.
Sounds good. Well,
and it confuses everyone.
I never really asked you, but I was always wondering what the hell is Mr. ASIC I always said it Mr. ASIC, but it's Mr. Ace K Productions.
You just can't do hyphens and stuff on like YouTube or Instagram. Well, you can, but I don't like hyphens. So
yeah, that makes sense. So what are you wearing today, Dale?
I'm double wristing today.
This is so weird. All right. Go on.
Yeah.
Okay. My own piece is the Breitling Avenger GMT2.
Oh, beautiful piece.
Tracking LA time, of course, over here.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And the second one I just picked up this morning off another enthusiast. It's a Chiking Joker thing that's in for review.
Nice.
Joker, that one should be pretty cool, man.
Something a bit funky and a bit different. So
yeah, for sure.
Gonna start maybe a little series of unique watches or something like that, obscure watches or something like that. So
very cool. Yeah. For everybody watching and listening, this is exactly why I do the podcast on Sunday mornings, because of my son. He never listens. He's just in here. He's laughing in the background. I'm sure you could hear him, but this is a family show. That's what we don't curse
let him
anymore.
shine, man. Let him shine a little bit.
What are you wearing on the wrist, son? Nothing. All right, cool. P. Ross, what are you rocking today?
Well, on my right wrist, I'm rocking the Hamilton khaki.
Nice.
King.
And the king, not the field.
Yeah, the king.
Right. All right.
And then on the left wrist, I'm rocking, of course, the Seiko Flight Master. You know what I'm saying, with the strap from Vario. You know what I'm saying? I've been called now the Black TGV, but I don't agree with that. But it is what it is.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's your new nickname, the Black TGV.
Nah, I don't agree with that at all, but it's all good.
The Black Gentry? How about that? No?
Nah, hell no.
He's doing his own thing.
In honor of Dale, of course, rocking the SPB 143 on a Vario. Nice. I don't know if you could see it, probably because it blends with the green screen, but it's like a military olive green. And of course, P. Ross said it best, is the official Seiko Flight Master. Right. Is the official, I guess, watch of the SoCal Watch Reviews channel. So we never double wrist. We never double wrist. Right. All of a sudden, we're all double wristing. Look at that.
Double wrist.
I'm blaming review channel, so you know.
Yeah.
And don't get it mistaken, people. The Seiko Flight Master is the official watch of the SoCal Watch Reviews podcast. Okay, so get into it. Don't try to take it. It's ours. All right.
It's Dale has the Citizen, right?
I've got the Nighthawk.
Nighthawk, yeah. But he likes this watch. I know that. I know he likes his watch.
Yeah.
So Dale, tell us a little bit about you. So what got you into watch collecting, and then what got you into IG, and what got you into YouTube? Because I think that was a progression, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm a bit strange to most collectors. I actually got into watches through photography. So I started doing photography 9-10 years ago. God, I'm getting old. 9 or 10 years ago. And I actually used to do automotive because I'm an absolute car nut, like probably more than watches, actually. I'm a secret car enthusiast. And I used to shoot at racetracks, and then that progressed into doing static shoots. And then eventually I was driving myself, but one of my cars got written off. So I used to do drifting.
Oh, wow.
And so in the process of rebuilding the race car, I got a bit depressed going to the racetrack all the time and not driving. I'd rather to drive if I'm at a racetrack and take photos, to be honest. Yeah. So I was just scrolling through YouTube as we do, and came across some watch videos that were pilot inspired. We can go into that a bit later if you like.
Okay.
And I fell down the massive wormhole of the history behind certain pieces and brands and aviation. Then later down the track, I realized there's obviously automotive ties to a lot of brands as well. And then I was like, I wonder if I could actually photograph these. This would be a lot easier than trying to find cars.
Yeah. Right. Especially so in the racetrack, I'm assuming you were taking pictures of parked cars, but also cars in motion.
Used to do track days. I'd go to track days and shoot other people driving. And then that progressed to static shoots, sort of one-on-one shooting with clients, which I preferred, to be honest. I got to talk to the client and find out about their car and their personality and things like that.
Got it.
But that's really time consuming, takes up, not that watches are any better, but at least I can do the watch stuff at home rather than being out at a track for the weekend or away, like that. So
that makes sense.
That's how I kind of got into the watches, and then it's just evolved from there, the deeper you go into it.
So as far as the race cars, how has it been since COVID?
Non-existent, basically. So I haven't been to the racetrack for probably 3 years anyway. Okay. I've had 2 kids and got 2 babies now and things like that. So priorities change. I've still got the car sitting in the garage. It's in bits.
Beautiful car. You want to tell the people what you have in the garage?
I've got 2. I've got a 1971 Datsun, as you guys say, 240Z.
They don't even make them anymore, do they?
No.
Oh.
And I've got
did Nissan take over that or something?
Yeah,
they did. That goes into his next car,
right? They amalgamated, and then I've got a Nissan S13, or I think you guys call them a 240 SX Sylvia.
It's a Sylvia, over here in the States, it's a 240, and everybody hates it because they wish we had the Sylvia, the JDM model. But
I've got the.
You're lucky. You're lucky you got it.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky over here sometimes with that stuff. So
yeah, because you get all the JD. Was it the EDM stuff or the JDM stuff?
I get the both.
Both. Well, lucky you. We get all the crap. Man, so my ultimate car, I'm a Honda guy, and my first car was a Honda CRX, and as a matter of fact was my first, second, third, fourth until like my 5th car, and then I moved on to something different. But man, I remember back in the day, it was all about JDM, Japanese domestic market, and we were nuts over it, right? So we wanted
Yeah.
to make everything Japanese, but it was so expensive.
Yeah.
And, and the internet wasn't what it is now. And to get parts, you had to know somebody. And it's like we were so fascinated by right-hand drive cars. And to know that you guys could just pick them up, just like whatever, that's pretty sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Good
anyway, so
times.
an IG account. So why the IG account for the watches? Just
Well,
because?
it started with the automotive, and then I actually did a bit of landscape photography for a while, and then the watches followed. So it was really just sharing my passion for photography. That's how it all started. Showcasing different cars and different people's cars, and then the landscape, obviously. Obviously, with my work, I got to travel a lot, so I was taking photos while I was overseas. That's how all the photography started as well, with all the travel I was doing. So it all just started out as a connection to meet other people and share your passion for certain hobbies.
Yeah,
I think
no,
that's how it always
absolutely.
starts for most people, generally, I would hope.
Yeah, for sure. And let me ask you, in terms of photography, so that must be very different because I know now, right, that I started actually taking pictures of watches, but now I'm moving on to like taking pictures of my family, want to do a little bit of landscape, and it's so different, right? Because you're going from a macro level to like
Mm.
landscape, which is all wide angle stuff, you know what I mean? So how difficult or how different was it for you to go from like a wide angle to the cars to now these tiny little mechanical things?
I
Was it
I think the cars, the automotive in general, help. I think it's helped a little bit with the watches because shooting
okay?
cars are so reflective. They're just a bigger
Yeah.
version of a watch, like really
Hmm.
reflective and mirror-like. So I, I think it's helped. The macro, like you said, was something new that I learnt, and just another part of the photography journey. So yeah, there's definitely things. Composition and lighting still plays a huge role
Of
in
course.
watch photography or automotive or landscape. So there's definitely still a amalgamation of all the skills from the different genres that can come together to help you improve anyway.
So before we move forward, because obviously a lot of people that watch us and listen to us have Instagram accounts and they want to step up their game when it comes to photography. So is there any tips? And I know this wasn't planned, but I want to put you on the spot
That's all
because you've
right.
been giving me a lot of tips, right? When it comes to photography and
Hopefully
different
they've
things.
helped.
Yeah. I hope it helped. I hope I'm getting better. It's a lot of work, but thank you, Dale. Appreciate it. So
No worries.
what are the top tips you have for somebody shooting with a DSLR camera and top tips for somebody shooting with a cell phone?
The top tips always lighting, just uh, getting the nice lighting that showcases the watch and that the camera has a large spectrum of light to use the full use of the sensor. That's the biggest thing, and then obviously composition sort of follows that.
Right.
Um, but getting it to look nice and pretty uh, in camera is the most important. I mean, you can obviously I edit as well. We all do editing of some sort generally. That's just the age of digital photography now, which is great. But I think trying to get it as close to in camera with the correct lighting and composition is the two big things that you really got to concentrate on. For me, anyway, I think they're really important.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I
Cool.
definitely found that lighting plays a big factor, especially
Mm.
when you're playing with or shooting, I should say, with a DSLR camera. The more lighting you have, the lower you could bring your ISO, which you want at 100 because the higher obviously it gets pixelated, right? And gets very noisy. And your
Yeah,
shutter speed, right? I didn't know anything about shutter speed, and I always used to just mess with it without knowing, and it makes a huge difference, right? So anyway, that's a whole other topic
yeah, a whole other
for
episode.
another.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, that's a lot to learn. But cool,
What
very
about
cool.
from a cell phone?
Cell phones the same, like cell
Same.
phone even more so, like because the sensor's so much smaller, even though the Apple iPhones are so good now, like it's all AI, it's all artificially
Mm-hmm.
built
Right.
into the software. So the lenses aren't necessarily as good and the sensors are so small, but the software is quite good, but it still has its limitations. So for cell phone, lighting is really, really important, even more so than I would say than a DSLR, because you can push it a little bit more with a bigger sensor and a bigger camera, and you can push it a little bit more in the editing process. But for an iPhone, you really need that light for that small sensor to really pick up the detail.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. And soft light, not like harsh lighting. Like, don't go out in the middle of the day. Find somewhere in the shade that you're still getting the bounce light and nice soft light. If you go straight out in the sun at midday, it's going to look awful. Doesn't matter what camera you have.
Yeah. And you hit the nail on the head when you said composition as well, because that could be, you can have all the skills in the world and all the tools, but if your composition is wrong and it just doesn't look right, you're just not going to get a pretty picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And just play around with it.
Yeah. And a tip that I found useful too is try to get your picture as best as you can. So that way, when you take it into your editing, it's just like a little bit of editing that you have to do, but the picture's like pretty much there. You know what I mean?
100%.
So, cool. And what was your, I guess, before we move forward, what was your first official watch? What was that first watch that you're like, yes, this got me into watch collecting?
I was looking back at my watch box before. I actually had a watch that I've had my whole working career. It was a little Pulsar, so a subsidiary of Seiko. It was a quartz. It was a blue dial, and I'm obsessed with blue dial watches. It's just funny. I got it for my 21st from my parents. It was a blue dial Pulsar chronograph.
Ooh, very cool.
Nice. Yeah. So it's interesting that it's come full circle. And last year I picked up one of my sort of self-imposed grails, which was the blue dial Navi timer that I now have. So
P. Ross.
Right.
Yeah. P. Ross is obsessed with a Navi timer. So
yes,
good man. That's why we're friends now.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So you're a commercial pilot. Okay. How important are pilot watches in today's age for pilots as a tool? And also, what's your favorite pilot style watch?
Good question. But watch brands do good marketing campaigns, don't they? They tell you that you need a Navi timer to fly an airplane now.
Right.
Honestly, not a big tool that's required these days in modern age.
I would figure that because every planes basically fly themselves. Like
damn! All right, he's getting into something.
I'm not. No, this is just something that I read. You know what I mean? Like, they're so sophisticated now that people can fly them, but you really don't have to, right?
Not entirely. They can. Okay. They can't take off on their own. That's all. That's all manual input.
Absolutely.
There is auto land functions in the aircraft, in modern jets I'm talking about. So I fly the 737-800 at the moment. It has an auto land function. So it will land by itself only if the airport has the facilities or the equipment for the aeroplane to do that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And obviously we have autopilot for cruise, in the cruise segments, because we have actually quite small airspace limitations. So you actually have to have the autopilot in. But a watch, not needed in modern aviation. So even the small airplanes, when I did my training, they said it was part of if you were doing sort of charter operations, that you had to wear a watch in case the clock in the airplane broke. So you still had a form of timing things. But for modern jets, they're like happening. You said, they're super sophisticated. They calculate the position that you're going to be based on the wind, the temperature, the altitude you're at, the weight of the aircraft. It calculates all that in a computer. So I think the romantic idea of having that watch as part of aviation is what the brands use, and it's nice to think that, all a long time ago, that they were a necessity and a tool used for aviation, but definitely not anymore. So,
I was gonna say, because it kind of seemed like that you would actually like have on some type of pilot's watch, even though you don't need it. You know what I mean? I
have a little Breitling Chronospace that I wear for work. So it's an Digi, so it's a quartz. Oh, quartz. Right. So it has an analog dial and then a screen underneath in digital.
Okay.
And I use that I have local time on the analog hands, and I have GMT, or we call it UTC. universal time code. That I have that time zone in the digital because everything in aviation is referred to UTC.
Okay.
Everything. So if you're talking about flight planning, arrival times, you're talking to air traffic controllers, every time that we refer to is in UTC.
Okay, cool.
So it's nice to have that display there where if you're doing a PA to the passengers, you can go, oh, okay,
Right.
yeah, that's the time here and whatever, and etc.
Oh, okay.
So for me, a GMT function is the most useful for my work.
Cool.
And then internationally, obviously, it was handy for calling home and calling family and working out time zones and things like that. So.
Right. Cool.
So is it fair to say that some of your colleagues don't wear watches since it's not really required?
That is a fair call to say yes.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I would only say probably 5-10% of pilots that I've flown with are into watches. Yeah.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, not a huge amount.
Well, it's almost like the idea, right? Like a dive watch. Like, how many people actually use a dive watch for their intended purposes, right?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
I mean, real divers don't use those old mechanical pieces. It's us old, not old, but you know, in our mentality is like the old way of thinking, right? These mechanical things, and it's like so romantic and this and that, but we end up spending so much time and so much money on these little things, right? So,
But I think what happens is you buy a dive watch and you expect somebody who dives to actually wear a dive watch, and they don't. You know what I mean? Just like a pilot's watch, like you expect a pilot to wear a watch. I know you wear a watch, Dale, but the people around you don't. So
yeah, look, the guys wear watches, but I wouldn't say it's a one watch that they've had their whole career.
Right.
You know, and the most popular brand, Citizen. Some form of pilot Citizen watch is
the
generally,
Nighthawk.
yeah, or even the older ones, the digital ones, or the any-digi ones like my little Breitling one I've got. They're pretty popular, just with the 2 time zones. A lot of guys like to do the same thing, or a chronograph, but we don't use a chronograph.
are you sure you don't use the slide rule like this, you know, and time the fuel consumption and
right.
You'd be like this.
Wait, hold on. Oh, God, hold on.
And then in my case, I would need a magnifying glass.
Yeah, hold on. Okay. So Dale,
Exactly.
I'm curious to know. So Brightly, now obviously I could tell is one of your favorite brands, but making an assumption. But if you were to name your top 3 brands, what would they be?
That's a tough. It keeps changing, to be honest.
Every day it changes.
Yeah, the more I start doing reviews and coming across more and more brands that I haven't handled or haven't heard of before, or things like that. So that's a tough one. Look, I am a sucker for Breitling, just with the aviation history. I know it's, like we said, it's a little bit romantic these days, but yeah, I'm a bit of a Breitling fanboy.
That's
other
okay.
brands,
that is great, actually.
I don't know about any other.
Come on, Dale. You own a piece that we both have. That's not you don't like that brand?
Which one? The Seiko.
Okay. Oh, I'm wearing 2 Seikos.
Yeah, Seiko's good. Yeah. Well, they were kind of they were my gateway, I guess. I had the SKX like everyone, I think most people have had. So
yeah,
I come and go with Seiko. I love them. It's like a love-hate relationship with Seiko sometimes.
Why is that? Is it because of the QC issues, or?
I think so, and the price is starting to creep up a bit.
Yeah,
with certain things, unjustifiably, I might add. I don't know. Ooh, did I go there? I did.
Well, I was going to say something pretty interesting. So I don't know if you got a chance to check out our last episode with Mark, Long Island Watch. So we brought up that point because he's a dealer, right? He's a dealer for Seiko, and we're like, oh, you know, the prices keep going up, and how can they justify that with all the QC issues and whatnot? And his answer was perfect. He's like, look, sticker price has always been high. The gray market is the one that drove the prices down, and Seiko hated that for years and years and years. They fought to get the gray market dealers basically out because they want their prices to not necessarily go up, but be what they wanted them to be. And now that they're kicking the gray dealers out and they're losing the battle, now you're starting to see the prices kind of normalize. Not that they're going up, they're normalizing. So that was pretty interesting for him to say that. And as far as the QC, he's like, the QC issues are only for the watch fanatics. Most people in the world, the core market demographic for Seiko, they don't see it as a QC issue.
Right.
Nobody's anal like us looking at the little thing. Not like, people don't care. You buy a watch, oh, it looks pretty, and that's it. You know what I mean?
I'd have to agree with that. Yeah, it's like the bracelet on the SPV, like a
Right?
bit of movement in the
Oh my
links.
God, it moves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's dumb.
But you have to mention it because watch enthusiasts, they're pretty pedantic.
Man.
We're detailed people. That's just how we are. I think
Yeah,
that's
but
just
I mean,
how
look,
it is.
it gets to be, and you know this, you've been on YouTube now to get those negative comments from people, but it gets to be where,
I
yeah,
love them.
right, we like the details, right? We like the details and whatnot, but sometimes we do obsess over them, and we get so angry over them, or God forbid a YouTuber says something that's not right, or oh my God, how dare you? Oh my God, the
Right.
world's gonna burn down now. It's ridiculous, man. It's
But does the Seiko fanboy really care about the QC issues?
No, because they keep buying them.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
I mean, it bothers me, and I think I said it before, and Dale knows the story very well. You two know the story very well because you're my friends. When I got my first SPB, it had
Oh
an issue with
God,
the hands,
Lord have mercy.
right? It had an
Right.
issue with the
Right.
hands.
Right.
And I couldn't really see it. I mean, I could kind of see it, but it wasn't until I took out my macro lens and I saw it, and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, I just paid $1,200 for this thing and the hand is not finished right. And I send it to Dale, I send it to Ross, to some other friends, and Dale's like, hey, it's up to you. You want to keep it if you want, but I know it's going to bug you. And I know it's
Right.
going to bother you. It will bother me. And I'm like, Dale, you're not helping. You're not helping. But
I was just being honest.
I appreciate the feedback because, look, the seller was super cool. He's like, yeah, hell no. Just give it back to me. I'll give you another one. And this one's perfect. I'm sure it's not perfect. I'm sure it has some issues, but I don't want to look for them because I'm sure I will find them. But yeah, Seiko definitely has QC issues, but it is what it is. I mean, Seiko to me is very charming and in-house
Absolutely.
everything pretty much, and their designs are very them, and I love them, and I love your latest video with that that Seiko is awesome, beautiful. I don't
Thank
know.
you.
Do you like it? Do you like that model or?
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, I like the dials, like something you don't normally see from Seiko.
Yeah, what was it? The SPB?
It's SBDC065 or the SPB083.
Prospect Sign, yeah.
One
Yeah,
of those ones, depending which market you're buying it from.
yeah, right. Is it JDM? Is it the US? But
Yeah.
cool, man. So let's see, Breitling, then Seiko comes and goes. What would be a third one? Longines?
No, I'd say I gravitate towards IWC. I've just never owned one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never had one though. So it was it's between IWC and Omega actually, because I've got a Speedmaster.
Oh.
So, and when I was on my honeymoon, it was actually between a Le Petit Prince, the IWC chronograph, the blue dial, or the Speedmaster. And I ended up getting the Speedmaster because I didn't like the IWC. It was a bit big, didn't fit me properly.
Yeah,
it was a bit too long. So
yeah, they're big watches, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you can't go wrong with a Speedy. I love Speedmaster.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So those are the three probably that I gravitate towards.
Cool.
And then there's a few other ones, but
yeah, that's a good answer.
And what about you, Miguel?
Yeah, Miguel.
Seiko. No, honestly, Seiko, Omega, right off the top of my head. Seiko, Omega, and crap. Okay. That third one always gets me because
I know.
Those are like the two that I really like. I want to say Casio, but I don't really wear a Casio too much. I respect them, and they're like my childhood watch with the data bank with the little calculator. But honestly, Seiko, it's like I keep finding that I want another watch, right? Like I need a Hamilton field, khaki field, and I need to check out a Glycine combat sub, and I need to check out a Certina, and I need to. I don't need to. I want to, but honestly,
do you want to buy my Glycine?
The Airman, right? You're selling the Airman.
Yeah,
I like the combat sub. I realized something about myself, and it took a while, and I know it's pretty obvious, but I'm a dive watch fanatic. Like they're my favorite type of watches. Like anything else is secondary but dive watches are always going to be my core watch. You know what I mean? So I don't know what my third one would be, to be honest with you, but it's Seiko, Omega, and I don't know, Casio maybe at Buloba. I mean, Buloba is obviously near and dear to my heart because of my watch from my dad and watch I got for Father's Day and stuff like that. And it was a U.S. company, right? So, what about you, Piros?
Oh, I don't know.
Also, put me on the spot, but I can't put you on the spot.
Oh man, my three favorites. Oh man, Seiko, Hamilton. I don't know, Seiko, Hamilton, and Certina.
Oh, nice, interesting.
So,
Gotta go with Tina. I thought you were gonna say Omega for sure. I know you're in love with your Seamasters.
It bounces around, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It bounces
Same.
around a whole lot. Because I know last time you asked me, Omega was in there, but I put the Certina on this week, and I'm like, oh my god, this thing looks great. So, you know, it bounces around.
I definitely want to check out a Certina, the Certina Diaz PH200, I believe it is. That vintage aesthetic. I don't know if you've seen it, Dale, but it's this vintage style diver, and just Certina's doing it right, man. And
is that the new one they released recently, like last year? You're talking about, or it's actually a vintage or a reissue?
It's a reissue. It's a reissue.
Oh, I know the one. Yeah, yeah. It's got the sapphire bezel. The thin
Ooh,
yeah, that's
I love
nice.
that thing. That's
cool. That's cool.
And here go that Belova that I told you about. That vintage Belova.
Oh, cool. Is that
Golden Centennial?
What year is that, man?
1967.
Wow.
Cool.
It's older than my car. That's amazing.
That's cool. No, P. Ross has a big vintage collection. It's amazing. Some of the things that you see, right? You're like, dang, they were doing those kind of things back then. And it's to us, it looks like an old man's watch, but it's so elegant, right? You're like, dang, that is pretty elegant, so especially when
well, I'm an old man now.
Nah, come on, man. But back in the day, think about it. People used to dress nice, right? In suits and in ties, and these watches just kind of
Sunday best.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right.
Yeah, picking three's hard. It's like picking your favorite child. You just can't do it.
Well, no, I'm just kidding.
Well, you got one.
I have a favorite child, so keep that on the down low, though.
Yeah, I mean, I've got hands on with a few independents lately, so I'm sort of being sucked into that little of going off on a fork at the moment into sort of more independent stuff. So
I've seen independent stuff, and it's crazy, kind of like what you have on your wrist right now with that Joker watch.
And there's a Gorilla Drift. It's actually called a Drift. It's got the 3 discs, the drift time.
Is it the guy that used to work for AP and went off and did his own thing?
So it's AP, the designers of ex-designer of AP and IWC, 2 of them.
Okay,
and they went off and made the brand Gorilla.
Yeah, and one of them is Hispanic, right? I think one of the guys.
I'm not sure of the full background of the 2 guys, but if they just released a new, because normally their watches are quite square and big, but they've released one recently. It's more of a round dial titanium with these blue. It's called the Night Drift or something, and it's the Drift Hour watch, and it's got 3 separate discs that spin.
That's cool.
It's so cool. Yeah,
man, that's so cool. I'm dying to check out a Ming in the metal.
Me too. Oh, I'd love to check out a Ming. Yeah, that'd be cool.
So cool, man. All right, cool.
So, Dale, what's the ultimate goal for you being on YouTube and IG, sir?
Yeah.
I don't know. No, just kidding.
Perfect. Great answer. Next.
I don't have any specific goals. It started out as, like I said earlier, sharing the passion with other enthusiasts of whatever genre I happen to be photographing at the time. But it's certainly it's evolving into more of a business, I guess, than just a hobby now. It's getting a little bit more serious with a few brands reaching out, and now doing the YouTube and making a $4.30 last month on YouTube. And that's Aussie, so that's like what, $2 US?
Yeah. Not much there. Yeah.
Look, it's just nice, like even doing the YouTube. I've had other people in the community, even from Melbourne, reach out to me and say, hey, I've got this watch, would you like to check it out? And there's some pretty expensive pieces that I would otherwise wouldn't have even had an opportunity to potentially spend some time with. So like I said, it's nice that I'm starting to get a little bit of work trickle in, but by no means does that substitute my full-time job or career that I've been doing for over 20 years now. So
I don't think there's nothing that can replace flying a plane. You know what I mean?
Not for me.
You know, I mean, besides the space shuttle. But
that's a good one.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but flying a plane, I don't think that. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So I think doing work for a brand or a couple of brands, or marketing campaigns and stuff like that's probably the ultimate end goal.
Right.
Just to see your work published on a bigger platform, that's pretty cool. So
do you ever get frustrated thinking that your work is not being respected like it should be?
You mean on YouTube or
on YouTube?
I wouldn't say it's not getting respected. Mm-hmm. No, I don't think it's not getting respected.
Well, I mean, when you put out a great video and it deserved 3,000 likes on the first day versus getting 100 on the first day. You know what
it's frustrating, I think is the word. Yeah, right. It's frustrating, but it's just it's the game, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
It's the algorithms, and it's the game, and you just got to try and look, as Miguel had his live chat the other day, it's definitely frustrating not to see much progression, whether that be in subscriptions or brands reaching out or whatever it may be, for the amount of work that you do and that you put in. And that's where I sort of was a while ago. I think we had a bit of a discussion. Myself and Miguel had a bit of a chat about it. And for me, I'm already past that hobby stage. It's definitely evolved more towards a business now. Mm-hmm. And I see it as that. It's actually it's a part-time job now for me.
Right.
That's what it's evolved into. Now, for me, for my photography, just enjoyment and passion, I actually go and shoot my friends' cars now.
Right.
That's my actual hobby, and
that's cool.
Okay.
That's the bit I enjoy photographing. That's the hobby part of it now, and the watches has become more of evolving into a little bit more of a business transaction, I guess, or process that it's going through at the moment. So.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be 100% transparent. I get frustrated sometimes.
Oh, it's likewise. Me too.
I really get frustrated sometimes, especially with this podcast, because I feel like we one of the best out there. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. I ain't trying to diss nobody, but that's just the way I feel.
Yeah,
and
it's hard.
Yeah, for sure.
The whole watch genre, whether that be podcast or Instagram or YouTube, it's oversaturated now. It really is. There's some people have been very successful because they were probably the early adopters of it, and there are those handful that just stand out because they are just phenomenally really good. Right. But it is oversaturated, and it's hard to stand out in such a niche market as well. of watches,
Right.
it really is hard to stand out. So you just gotta try and still enjoy the process and
Right. Absolutely.
the watch collecting hobby of it, I guess. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and if you need a break, take a break, man. Take a step back for a week or two and just re-energize yourself. I do that sometimes. I won't post for a couple of weeks on Instagram. Just have a rest from it. Just step away.
Right. For sure.
Great answer.
Yeah, I
Great
totally
answer,
agree with
Dale.
that.
Yeah. No, I definitely had I don't want to call it a meltdown, but
That wasn't a meltdown. It's frustration.
It's frustration, man. It's like all you guys here are parents. All you guys here are married, and you all have IG and YouTube, and you know how frustrating it is. You know, it's a lot of work, and you need to somehow spread yourself thin and spend time with your family and your job and this and that. And then, like you said, to not get the recognition. Respect is not the word, because I feel like my work gets respected by everybody.
Right.
There's a few douchebags that do put you down, right? But
they everywhere.
Yeah, but for the most part, everybody's pretty supportive in the community and everything is cool. But at the same time, it's like, man, I just spent 15, 20 hours shooting this crap, and it's just not getting the views that it deserves or whatever. And yet, look, I'm not going to name any channels, but, you know, I put out a review of a watch that got sent to me for free. And man, right now, as this sits, is like less than 300 views. And I'm like, all right, a lot of work went into that. But there's another guy, bigger channel, that his review was, no offense, but garbage. Like, it was just like talking about the watch, not scripted. He was fumbling around. There's nothing, no B-roll. No, I'm like, what? He has like thousands and thousands and thousands of views, and it's like, why? How is that what I need to start doing? Maybe I should just throw away all my equipment.
It's the subscriber count. That's all.
Yeah.
And you know what? I want to give a shout out to the haters. I want to give out to the people. You know what I'm saying? That try to put us down. Continue to put us down and continue to talk stuff. You know what I'm saying? I love it. Every time I see one of y'all comments, I love it. Thank you.
It's hilarious. I think it's hilarious.
Very much.
Hey, they've taken the time to give you
to actually do it. Like
they obviously care.
Right. And I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all. Believe that.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. In my Spanish channel, I started the last comments, like the last few comments have all been negative, and I kind of just stopped posting on my Spanish channel because I'm like, that's like kind of my secondary one, and I was
they kind of want you to do that though, man. Like,
I don't know. Well, I felt like I was doing them a favor, to be honest with you, because in the Spanish sector, I mean, obviously you guys don't know, but I do. In the Spanish sector, when you look at those videos, there's nothing like the stuff that even you, P-Roz, that you do. You talk and you do this and you shoot like B-roll, and it's different than, we all have different styles, but over there everything is very bland. No offense, I mean, great content or whatever, but I thought I was going to bring something different to the table, right? Like, oh, okay, cool, my style of what I do in English, which is everybody does it seems like it, I'm going to bring it into the Spanish sector, which it's not saturated in that market, but my success hasn't been that great, or maybe it's the fact that they know that I don't live in Latin America, and I'm more, you know, I'm coming from America, because they know that.
Is that
maybe
a thing?
They're oh man, I can't get into that. It's just our
we'll talk off camera. We'll talk off camera.
Our Hispanic people, man, I'm just gonna say it, and anybody listening to this Hispanic, you know this, we're racist. Like, honestly, anybody in Mexico, and I'm talking specifically from Mexico because I'm not from anywhere else, but you see somebody that has a different skin tone, and automatically you put them down as like being a black person, you know? And it's sad. It's sad to see that, because we're minorities, especially here in the United States. We are minorities. Hispanics, we're minorities. We can't be, you know, having anything against our brothers and sisters that are a different color, different nationality. And I see that in these YouTube channels, like in my Spanish YouTube channel, it's like they throw so much hate at me, and it's like, okay, I've got people tell me like, oh, you use a few English words, like speak Spanish totally, or just don't do your videos anymore. And I'm like,
wow,
like seriously? It's just like, it was 99% Spanish, and I threw one English word in there, like, oh, excuse me, mister, from wherever the hell you are. Sorry,
so
I'm just like,
maybe you ain't the problem, it's them.
Yeah, I'm just
You know?
frustrated, man. It's like I started as a hobby and I wanted to bring joy and happiness and people to be like, oh, that's cool, this guy. And instead of that, you get hate, you get criticism, and it's like, what the hell's wrong with
Like,
everybody? Like,
I just think it's so funny because on my other channel, I get the N word, I get all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I just laugh at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 46, about to be 47. When I was 20, I probably cared. But now that I'm 46, I'm like, oh, well, whatever. It's funny to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, like, I could just laugh at it. Like, somebody could, they can't come in my house and say that, of course. But, you know, on the streets, like, I laugh at them. Like, you know, like, stupid. You know what I'm saying? So, do what you do. Come on, haters. Bring it. Bring it.
Seems like we're kind of deviating until you getting our feelings out, right?
Oh my god! Oh my
sorry,
god!
Dale.
I'm just so frustrated. I'm just so frustrated.
I'll go and get my guitar and kumbaya.
Right.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Well, I gotta ask Dale. So, with your favorite picks and kind of what you said, we gotta ask. We've been asking people, what's your favorite, not watches, but watch countries of origin, if you will. So, is it Japanese? Is it the Swiss? Is it the German?
I don't have I don't actually don't have. I like what each individual countries are doing. They do different things, so it's a little bit, you know, Japanese. They're doing the Grand Seiko thing with that high finishing and things like that. Can't go against the Swiss because Breitling, you know.
Yeah.
And then the Germans also, some of the high-end stuff that they do is just mind-blowing like that. I was fortunate enough to have that Langer, the 1815 up-down from a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And that thing just blew my mind. Like, it's just next level. Like, it's insane. So it doesn't bother me. Like, if it's Swiss, if it's German, if it's Japanese, that's cool. That's cool by me. Like cars, I like all different kinds of cars from different brands.
Right.
How about Chinese watches? Pagani design, Dale?
Let's not go there.
We've had guests on the show that just focus on that and they love it, man. So what are your feelings on Homage watches? We I don't think we've ever even talked about that. I remember, but what are your feelings on Homage watches? You know what I'm talking about though, right? Not Homage that it borrows a few aesthetics. I'm just straight up copy of a Rolex Submariner. Yeah, straight up copy.
No. I'm not into that.
Okay.
Create your own stuff. Just be creative. Design your own stuff.
Okay.
Like copying having I don't know, some sort of car and then someone just building the same thing, but it's not the same thing, is it?
Right. No. What about Automatica quartz?
That doesn't bother me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, like I said, my Breitling is a little quartz thing that I wear every day. Yeah. The best, I like the spring drive, the combination of the two.
Right.
Nice.
Now you're talking.
Yeah. Now
let's
talk
tech.
Yeah, let's talk cars for a little bit. Top 3 brands.
Datsun, Nissan, and BMW.
BMW.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite car of all time. If you could just have one car, it doesn't matter. Money doesn't matter, and nothing matters. You could just one car. What is it?
A custom built Zinger 911.
Okay.
What about you, Miguel?
What was it? The Pagani Zonda, the all carbon fiber body.
Yeah, they're cool.
Oh, kill me. P. Ross, what are you going for? A Pinto?
No.
Geo Metro.
No.
Geo Metro.
No.
Mini Cooper?
If I can afford it, I would get a Rolls Royce Phantom.
It's so gangster.
If I got to go, I got to go big, man. I got to go.
You have your gold watch out the side.
Right. I ain't leaving no room for bull. You know what I'm saying? When I pull up, they already know.
Yeah. You know what would be crazy? Driving that car, expensive ass car, wearing a Gold Invicta. Bam! Like a Venom or something.
But you know what? You know what's so crazy? You know what's so crazy is, you know what I'm saying? I would put Invicta on the map with that. For sure. They'd be calling me for sponsorships. You want to make a watch in your name, and you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, no, you ain't with that. I'm making my own watch. You know, cool. Get out of my face.
That's so funny. Hey, did you
No.
catch that, P. Ross? So you said
What?
Rolls Royce Phantom, and Dale just low key said gangsta.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you. Man. Boy. And then I have a slot. I have a slot for watches in my car where I just push when I get up in the morning. Push. Okay, what I'm gonna wear. Okay, I wear. I wear this.
Yeah, see, the Porsche design will have the same thing. There you go.
Right. Yeah,
custom.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Yes, sir.
Nice. No, that's super cool. Great choice for that car.
Yeah.
Now, as far as watches,
I guess you thought I would say a Chrysler 300, but
no, I say like a Volkswagen Beetle or something, like a fuchsia, like a pink. Yeah. No. Oh man, sounds good. So, what is before I guess we get into more questions? How does your wife feel about this whole thing? Because I mean, watches is expensive, man. Spending thousands of dollars on these little things. Is she okay with it, or
not really? No, she's pretty supportive as long as I'm not sacrificing other things like family priorities and things like that. And look, I generally say I save my Navi timer for at least 12 months, probably more, saved up for it, moved a couple of other pieces to put money towards it. So I think as long as you're sensible about it and don't go crazy and getting into debt, it's fine. It's fine.
Was she not weirded out though when you bought that first luxury piece? It was thousands of dollars or thousands of Aussie dollars, and she wasn't like, "What? Wait, how much are you spending on this little thing?"
A little bit, but my car parts are pretty expensive. So
yeah, how much is that intake? What the? But you don't understand. Yeah, I'm gonna get 5 more horsepower.
No, it's safer. Makes it safer.
Right. And that's what they be worried about, right? Safety.
Correct.
Right.
How much is that Blitz intercooler? Well,
why do you need that big turbo? Oh, it's safer, so I can pull out in traffic quicker.
It's for the babies, not for
That's
me.
right. Yeah, correct.
The boost helps keep them in their seat,
Exactly. So
that's hilarious, man. So I guess ultimate grail piece. What if money's not an object? Grail piece for a watch.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I have two. Because two's fine. Money's no object. A blue dial VC overseas dual time.
Yeah. And
the second one would be my obscure, because I'm obsessed with like quirky, weird watches at the moment, would be and this has actually been on my list for a while, the Ulysses Nadine Freakout Blue.
Okay, you need to send me a picture of that. So I know
send you a picture.
I know the freaks, but I don't know that specific one.
Yeah, I think it's a titanium. I believe it's in titanium. Pretty sure. Yeah. So just that's like the VC's the everyday watch.
Oh yeah, an everyday $30,000 watch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then the freaks like the party trick.
You know what I like about Vacheron is they include a rubber and a leather, right?
Strap, like and bracelet. I think you get all three.
And the bracelet, right?
Yeah, and quick release.
It's so cool. It's beautiful, man. It's like that's all you need, really. That's all
two guys in our local watch group have they have the 3-hander, both in blue dial. Stunning.
Have you seen it in the metal?
Yeah. Very nice.
See, that's the thing about us. Like we know about these watches, but we haven't actually had hands-on experience with any of them, which I'm happy about because I don't want to have like these dreams about like, oh, I can't get it out of my head, and I know it's never gonna happen, So I'm okay not seeing them in the metal. But, like I recently saw a Rolex Submariner. I forget the reference number. I have it written down, but it's before the maxi case. My jeweler, the guy who's fixing my watches, he owns one and he beats the crap out of it. Like he doesn't even care. It's all scratched up. And I recently did a photo shoot, not a photo shoot, but some video of that in my SPB. And I had never handled a Rolex before in my life ever. That was like my first time. And it
really?
seeing my Grail. I was like, I didn't know what to expect. I was like, all right, they say not never to meet your heroes, or
Hero.
you know what I mean. So I'm gonna be probably really disappointed, which is a good thing because then that way I'm not gonna want this thing anymore. Far from the truth.
And you want it even
You want it
more.
bad.
I want it so
Mm-hmm.
bad. I've never felt a bezel like that before, and just like the wearability of it, I'm like, this is perfect. It was like made for Miguel, you know. And something else, I'm like, okay, I see the appeal. I see the appeal, and I need to get one of these. And I told my wife, and I'm like, seriously, before I kick the bucket, like I don't know when I'm gonna die, but before I die, let's pretend like I'm gonna die when I'm 90 or 80. I need to get one in the collection. I don't care if I have to sell everything off. I need to get one in the collection. She didn't have a
Right.
reply, so I don't know
I
what that
think
meant.
that's like the ultimate goal.
But
That's like the ultimate goal, right? Like, yeah, we do videos on these watches, we wear them, but in the end, we want an ultimate Grail Prix piece. So when I get about 60, I'm gonna say, oh, I'm selling all this and I'm gonna get what I want. And that's gonna be the end of my YouTube career and everything, and I'm gonna retire in bliss, and that's it. Be done.
but how much of that is fantasy and how much is reality? Because as watch enthusiasts, it's almost like an addiction as well. And I don't know
Oh, totally.
yeah, okay. I was gonna ask Dale because I know you don't have as many pieces in the collection because you're trying to get rid of them and kind of consolidate.
Mm.
We definitely have a problem, especially Pure Ross. But don't tell him.
Hey man, it's like fine cognac, bro.
I think I'm fortunate too that a few local watch enthusiasts have been very supportive of the channel and huge collectors. So that helps that you've got those contacts that can kind of help you out a little bit with the channel. So
Yeah.
I've been very fortunate in that respect that I don't have to go and buy watches to review as such. Which is it's a nice place to be in, I suppose.
Yeah,
Right.
it must have felt really nice, and I felt so proud of you, Red, as being your friend when you did that video for the H Moser, and the actual owner of H Moser kind of shared your pictures and whatnot. I was like, man, I really hope they connect and they could give you a little bit of business because it'll be awesome for you to do some
Yeah, that
work
was
for them.
cool. Yeah, Ed's. I think he was on another podcast. Some of my friends run a podcast out of Melbourne, and yeah, he seems like a really nice guy. Ed, he's shared a few of my images. Yeah, so but
That
nothing's
must have
happened
felt
for me.
really cool, man. I mean,
That was
it's
really
such
cool.
an
Yeah, and
honor, such an
he
honor.
actually messaged me as well and said, "Is it okay if I share the photos and credit your images?" So that's a
Wow.
bit
That's what's
unheard
up.
of these days, isn't it?
You're like, well,
So
send me here's my PayPal account.
Yeah.
Wire me some
yeah.
money, then you can share them.
But I think
Yeah.
that's the thing that a lot of people enjoy about independent brands is that there is that human connection to the CEO and the designer, and you're part of the process and you're part of the family once you do own a piece from that particular company, Moser, for example. You're welcomed almost like as part of the family. The Moser family, they call it, my mate that owns the watch. And it's just a different experience. Like it's a different purchasing experience. And
I
you
agree.
have that direct connection with the brand. So
Well, the same could be said honestly for microbrands, and obviously they're not in
sure,
the same
totally.
level as
No, I totally agree.
independents.
Yeah.
Same stuff, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you're never gonna get. You could spend $100,000 on another big piece from a big corporate, whatever, and maybe you'll get like a call from the salesperson or like, oh, whatever, and that's it. You're just
Mm.
another purchaser, right? But yeah, with these independents and microbrands, you become part of the family. So it's a
What's
cool
the
feeling
difference
for sure.
between an independent and a micro brand?
I've
Right.
been asking that question myself. I don't know if it has to do with money. I don't know if it has to do with the pieces that they sell. Because I could tell you that Mark from Long Island Watch is selling thousands of watches
Mm.
a year.
He wouldn't be a micro brand.
He wouldn't be considered a microbrand, but
Mm.
apparently maybe he is. But is he an independent? So to me, it's like I don't know. In my head, the way that I see it, and I might be completely wrong, but an independent is somebody like a Jorn, right? Somebody that actually designs their pieces and carves out their pieces, and like everything is in house. And maybe to me, it's more artisan, and that's more of an independent. Maybe a microbrand is somebody that, yes, they design their own watches, but they hire somebody overseas in Asia just to make all their movements and parts and whatnot, and they just kind of slap them together. I might be completely wrong, but that's the way that I see it.
Yeah,
Right.
I think microbrands kind of almost come from the watch community as well. It's kind of a term that kind of got created almost. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or can a micro brand turn into a full-fledged
Christopher Ward. Perfect
historical brand? You know what I'm saying? Like a Rolex or Omega or something like that.
I mean, they all started out as a micro brand. I mean, in essence, micro means, you know, it's a small company and it just kind of grows to something else. And I guarantee that this is a cool thing that we are collectors right now when this whole micro brand craze is happening. But 20, 30 years from now, a lot of these brands are not going to be small anymore. Christopher Ward, I mean, you could already see that in the trajectory that they're going, they're not really a micro brand anymore. And I guarantee in 20 years, they're going to be up there with some of the big boys, you know? And then we're going to look back and say, oh crap, I remember when they started out and there were, you know, small pieces and they couldn't figure out their logo and their logo placement. And I'll look at them, you know? So,
I mean, technically Rolex would be still an independent, wouldn't they? They're not owned by anybody.
and they're a nonprofit, right? So,
you know, that's what I mean. An independent technically is someone's just an independent company, unlike Amiga, which is owned by Swatch or whatever. So
yeah,
anyway.
for sure. So I don't know the difference between microbrand and independent. I like Ming watches. To me, that's an independent watch.
Yeah.
Right. So can you name one? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, but at the same time, it's kind of a microbrand, maybe? No? Is it past that? Well, I know it's past that stage because their stuff is so, well, it's coveted, you know, their stuff is so expensive. And on the resale market, have you seen their watches? Holy smokes. They're selling for crazy amounts of money. But yeah, anyway, guys, so we got about 10 more minutes here to go. So any other questions you want to ask, P. Ross? We got Dale, the man, with us here.
I just wanted to elaborate on the micro brand thing. What micro brands out there do you see actually, besides Christopher Ward, going to that next level?
Good question. That's a tough one.
Helios for sure. I've heard a lot of talk about Helios, right? I think they're in Canada.
Yeah, it just depends whether he can get whether its production levels up. I don't know. That's the thing. What's independent? It's a really tough question.
Monta, definitely.
I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, okay.
I was gonna say Monta.
Yeah, sure.
Monta's a good one for sure.
Yeah. Monta is definitely getting. I mean, the reputation they're getting, and a lot of people are like, "Hey, these guys are just as good as Rolex." So for anybody to say that, like, wow,
I'd consider them an independent because they've got Everest as the other subsidiary brand almost. So
well, I mean, that's how they got funded by that. I mean, one of the owners is, you know, from Everest. So
and I don't know. You'd have to speak to the owners whether they consider themselves a micro brand or an independent.
Well, we did have Justin more than a few episodes ago, right? Like about a year ago. Yeah, we had Justin, and we definitely need to have him back on to give us an update on what's going on with them. But he's super cool guy. Justin's such a down to earth guy, so super cool. But I guess I do have a question for you. Last question here. Any advice for anybody getting into watch collecting and getting into social media?
Yeah, don't do it.
Great advice. Great advice. No, seriously, don't do it. You want to be broke and you want to be depressed and you want
man.
Just I keep it as a hobby. Don't watch collecting. Let's go back to watch collecting, and not so much the social media. That's up to individuals why they have their own reasons why they might get into social media for whatever. I think watch collecting, a lot of mistakes, and I did it myself as well when I first started, was I just got inundated from all these social media
influencers,
influencers and pages, and I was like, oh, I've got to buy that. Oh, I've got to buy that. Oh, how cool is that? And you just end up purchasing these things and it just becomes so overwhelming, and then you're just like, why have I got all of a sudden 20 odd watches which probably only wear 2 of them? My advice for a lot of people, I've had a friend recently who's got into watches only in the last probably six months or so, and he's I just saw the same thing. Oh, this I said, dude, just
slow down.
Just slow down, have a think about what you're actually really going to wear, what you actually really like. Go and try a few different things on. Let's meet up, have a chat, try a few of my pieces on, and see what you where your interests lie and where you think what would suit your lifestyle.
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
So,
Great advice.
right on.
All right, Dale. Well, we're at the part of the show when we talk about other things. So anything you want to share with us, food, books, hobbies, whatever, it's your platform. It's your time. Go for it.
It's this is the hobby.
Perfect. There you go.
I'd love to get back in the garage and keep working on the cars, but this is so time consuming
And expensive, I bet.
And expensive, and I've got a young family now. I've got a little toddler and a 13-week-old baby. So
yeah, congratulations.
Congrats.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I remember when your daughter was born. That was
yeah.
That was
so
cool,
hence
man.
the bags under the eyes.
No, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. I know
of course.
It's tough. So P. Ross, what you got, man?
Yo.
Oh,
that's what I got.
Dang.
Metallic gold.
You can wear those when you're driving your Phantom.
Right. You know what I mean? They just came in yesterday. Oh my God. Yes.
Nice. I bought these like a week or two. Hang on, I'll take one off. I got these.
Let me see it.
I got these a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. Air Max. Them hot.
Yeah, I'm into
the Air Max. The Air Max 90, right?
Yeah.
I have the original Air Max 90 in my shoe room.
Oh, nice.
He has a shoe room.
It's a shoe room, not just
same color, the same colorway.
Dang. All right. Well, other things for me, I finally did it, guys. I finally pulled the plug on these damn Apple, I don't know if you could see them, Apple AirPods. I've been talking about these for a long time. My wife is always like, just buy them. Like, no, they're $100 and something. I can't spend that much money. And my wife looks at me, she's like, oh, but if like a $350 watch is like cheap for you, I'm like, yeah, it's a great value proposition. And she just goes, I don't want to hear it. So I finally went down to Target here, and I don't know if you guys have a Target over there in Australia, but okay,
everywhere. They're everywhere.
They were on sale, second generation, $129, and I am in love with these things. I don't even have an Apple computer. I have a PC computer, but it has Bluetooth capabilities, and I just connected these guys and it works. So I'm like, hell yes, I can wear these for this. I could for my phone, and I'm talking to Siri all the time, and I've had them for 5 hours, and I am in love with these things. So
how's the battery life on your phone?
I don't know. I've been charging my phone the whole time, and I'm using my phone right now as my monitor, so it's been charging. So does it drain it? Don't tell me.
Bluetooth can be a bit battery consuming, but it depends on the generation of your phone as well. So
got it. Older one.
I tell you what, I love Apple, and I have a Mac, and everything I do, I could do on my phone because with iCloud, it's just great.
Apple's a great company.
I love it.
I mean,
I love it.
Great products for sure.
I'm on a Mac now.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, Dale, where can people find you, man?
I am at Mr. Ace K Productions, but it's just MRACEK Productions on Instagram and YouTube. Same name.
Correct.
Right
All right, cool. P. Ross
Wristwatch Love everywhere. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and remember this, people, check out the SoCal Watch Reviews Facebook page. And also remember that we do not lose, we win, or we learn.
That's right, buddy. That's right.
All right.
SoCal Watch Reviews for me on YouTube, Instagram, and of course this podcast. And if you're listening, please rate this podcast. Let us be like the big podcasts out there. We're putting in the work. We have amazing guests. I think we have some of the best intros in the business, period. I've heard all the other intros, and I'm falling asleep with those people. I turn off the podcast as soon as What's going on?
It was a great intro.
Great intro by P. Ross.
And am I the first Australian guest you've had?
No, we had Jody.
Jody. But he's Scottish.
That's right.
He's from Australia, but he's Scottish.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. We have to go back, but you're right. I don't know.
He's Scottish, but he lives in Sydney. He lives in Australia now.
I think you're the first Australian for sure.
Well, thank you, Dale.
Right.
You're our first Australian. All right, cool. Very cool.
Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And
problem.
everybody watching, everybody listening, go check them out. Incredible productions. If you like
Mr.
Watchfinder,
Ace K.
you like Watchfinder, I'm telling you, this guy just blows him out of the water. As a matter of fact, known fact, Dale actually, the guy that shoots for Watchfinder actually apprenticed with Dale. Dale showed him everything. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But it
wow.
kind of seems that way,
You know, I was getting into that a little.
Yeah, P. Ross is like, wait, what? All right. No. But Dale,
Not true.
Dale's awesome. Dale's awesome. There's
Absolutely.
no reason why he has the subscribers that he has. He should have thousands and thousands and thousands more. But you know
Thank
what?
you. Very kind. Thank you.
We'll all get there. He will get there. Keep at it, Dale. Keep being a good friend. And thank you so much for coming on, buddy. And
No worries.
as always, stay humble, my friends.